Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Shadowed Scrolls of the Occult Library. In the heart of the quiet town of Eldermore, nestled between towering trees and cobblestone streets, stood the Eldermore Library, a repository of knowledge that had endured the passage of centuries. Within its labyrinthine shelves and dimly lit corridors, a librarian named Evelyn made her home among the books, oblivious to the malevolent secrets that lurked in the shadows. One gloomy evening, as the rain pattered against the library's stained glass windows, Evelyn found herself organizing a forgotten section of the library, an ancient archive rumored to house the darkest and most forbidden knowledge known to mankind. The air in this secluded corner was thick with an otherworldly energy, and the dusty tomes whispered promises of power and forbidden secrets. Drawn to the allure of the forbidden, Evelyn gingerly traced her fingers over the spines of the shadowed scrolls, each bound in cracked leather and adorned with cryptic symbols. Intrigued by the unknown, she selected a particular scroll, its title obscured by time and obscured by the darkness that clung to the library's secrets. As she began to recite the forbidden verses within the scroll, a malevolent force awakened from the abyss, its presence permeating the room like a cold, suffocating fog. The temperature plummeted, and the flickering candlelight cast grotesque shadows that danced along the shelves. Unbeknownst to Evelyn, the words she spoke resonated with an ancient being, imprisoned for eons within the confines of the shadowed scrolls. The malevolent entity, hungry for freedom, latched onto the librarian's soul, its insidious whispers echoing in the corridors of her mind. Night after night, Evelyn found herself ensnared in a web of nightmarish visions. She wandered through an ethereal realm, a twisted reflection of the Eldermore Library, where the malevolent entity held sway. The shelves groaned under the weight of eldritch tomes, and the air thrummed with the entity's insatiable hunger. As the entity tightened its grip on Evelyn's soul, her once vibrant eyes dulled, and a darkness crept into her every thought. Her sleep-deprived, haunted visage went unnoticed by the townsfolk, who remained blissfully ignorant of the malevolence that lurked within the library's ancient depths. Desperation gnawed at Evelyn's heart as she sought a way to sever the connection between her soul and the malevolent entity. The forbidden scrolls, now her prison, held the key to her salvation, but also the secrets to her demise. In her quest for redemption, Evelyn uncovered cryptic passages that spoke of a ritual, a desperate bid to banish the malevolent entity back to the shadows from whence it came. Armed with the knowledge from the scrolls, she prepared for a harrowing confrontation with the entity that had consumed her existence. The night of the ritual arrived, and the Eldermore Library groaned as the malevolent entity clawed its way into the earthly realm. Evelyn, marked by the shadows that clung to her, stood in the center of a circle inscribed with ancient symbols. The malevolent entity, a formless mass of darkness, slithered towards her, hungry for the taste of freedom. As Evelyn recited the incantations from the scrolls, a blinding light erupted, engulfing the library in an ethereal glow. The very foundations of the Eldermore Library trembled as the ancient being fought against the forces seeking to bind it once more. In a final, desperate struggle, Evelyn channeled every ounce of her will into the ritual. The malevolent entity screeched in agony as the shadows recoiled, its power waning with every uttered word. With a final burst of light, the entity was banished, leaving behind only a lingering echo of its malevolence. Evelyn, now free from the entity's clutches, collapsed to the floor, exhausted and battered. The Eldermore Library, cleansed of its dark secrets, stood silent once more. The forbidden scrolls, their ominous whisper silence, were sealed away in a vault of the librarian's creation, a vault guarded by wards and incantations to ensure that the malevolent entity remained imprisoned for all eternity. As dawn broke over Eldermore, the townsfolk remained oblivious to the horrors that had unfolded within the library's walls. The Eldermore Library stood as a silent sentinel, its secrets buried in the shadows, waiting for the next omitting soul to be drawn to the forbidden knowledge that lurked within the shadowed scrolls of the Occult Library. In the aftermath of the harrowing ordeal, Evelyn found herself changed. The once vibrant librarian bore the scars of her encounter with the malevolent entity, both visible and unseen. The shadows that had clung to her soul lingered, casting a perpetual darkness over her eyes. Haunted by the knowledge of the forbidden scrolls, Evelyn became a recluse, withdrawing from the townsfolk who remained oblivious to the supernatural events that had transpired in their midst. She spent her days studying ancient texts, searching for ways to cleanse herself of the residual darkness that whispered in the recesses of her mind. As the weeks passed, a new aura of dread settled over Eldermore. The once thriving town now seemed draped in an oppressive gloom, and whispers of strange occurrences spread among the townspeople. Some claimed to have heard eerie voices emanating from the library at night, while others reported fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures within its confines. Eldermore's residents began avoiding the library, their superstitions growing with each passing day. The once beloved institution became an ominous presence, its grandeur overshadowed by the lingering fear of the unknown. Evelyn, tormented by her own inner demons, felt the weight of responsibility pressing upon her. Determined to undo the malevolent influence that clung to the library, she delved deeper into her studies. The answers, she believed, lay hidden within the ancient tomes that lined the shelves, waiting to be uncovered. One fateful night, as the moon cast an eerie glow over Eldermore, Evelyn made a startling discovery. A forgotten manuscript concealed within the library's labyrinthine depths detailed a ritual that promised to cleanse the lingering darkness and seal the malevolent entity once and for all. With newfound hope, she set forth to perform the ritual, guided by the cryptic instructions within the ancient text. The library, now a desolate haven for the supernatural, seemed to come alive as Evelyn approached the designated location for the ritual. The air crackled with latent energy, and the shadows within the library writhed as if in anticipation. Unperturbed, Evelyn began the incantations, her voice steady despite the weight of her burden. As the ritual unfolded, the library itself seemed to rebel against the cleansing forces at work. Books flew from shelves, spectral whispers echoed through the corridors, and the temperature fluctuated wildly. Evelyn, undeterred, pressed on, channeling her newfound knowledge into the arcane ceremony. Just as the ritual reached its climax, the malevolent entity, weakened but not defeated, manifested in a final, desperate surge of power. The shadows coalesced into a monstrous form, its tendrils reaching out to ensnare Evelyn and drag her into the abyss. In a display of sheer determination, Evelyn summoned every ounce of strength, countering the entity's onslaught with the purity of the ritual. The clash of opposing forces created a dazzling spectacle of light and shadow, a cosmic battle that transcended the boundaries of the earthly realm. As the last incantation left Evelyn's lips, a blinding flash enveloped the library. The malevolent entity screeched in agony, its form dissipating into ethereal wisps that were banished into the netherworld. The library, once again purged of darkness, fell into an eerie silence. Exhausted but triumphant, Evelyn emerged from the shadows, her eyes no longer haunted by the malevolent influence. The library, bathed in the soft glow of dawn, stood as a testament to her resilience. The supernatural aura that had plagued Eldermore began to dissipate, and the townsfolk, unaware of the epic battle that had transpired, felt an unexplainable sense of relief. Evelyn, forever changed by her journey through the occult, chose to remain the guardian of the Eldermore library. The forbidden scrolls, now sealed away with additional layers of protective wards, served as a cautionary tale for those who dared to seek the forbidden knowledge within. Eldermore, once shrouded in darkness, slowly returned to normalcy. The library, though still regarded with a hint of trepidation, resumed its role as a repository of knowledge. The malevolent entity, vanquished and imprisoned, became a distant memory, a tale whispered among the shadows of the once occult library. And so the town of Eldermore, blissfully ignorant of the supernatural forces that had threatened its existence, continued to thrive. Unbeknownst to its residents, the shadows held secrets that only the librarian, Evelyn, carried in the depths of her soul, a reminder of the price paid to safeguard the town from the malevolent entity that lurked within the shadowed scrolls of the occult library. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.